Hello there, this is Alex, welcome to Boomstick Gaming, and my full breakdown for the combat system in Iron Danger. This strategic time-bending RPG has you trying to correct your error. This tactical time-manipulating RPG requires you to learn from your deaths to assert your dominance over the battlefield by harnessing the flow of time itself. This video has been sponsored by the game's publisher, Daedalic Entertainment, but all of the following will be entirely of my own design. After you get a feel for the game from what I show, use the link posted in the top of the video description to head over to the Iron Danger Steam page if it looks like your kind of thing. Iron Danger has some of the most unique combat mechanics I've seen in quite a while, and it's less overwhelming than it might look, but now let's dig in and see how this all really plays out. Iron Danger follows the main character Capuna and a handful of allies she gains along the way as she sets out on a magic shard collecting journey that has her delving into various dangerous dungeons in hopes of adding more spells to her growing arsenal. You will often be accompanied by one of your companions at most times who have their own unique skill sets and utility in battle. Topi, for example, is your standard meathead style warrior who has some really strong wide arcing melee attacks, he can block incoming physical blows, and he can also buff up the entire team. Lemmikin is a jack-of-all-trades who excels in melee and range combat and can do some pretty tricky stuff with his location-swapping ability while also being able to deflect incoming projectiles. The healer primarily focuses on fast melee damage and, you guessed it, has healing capabilities. Lastly, the star of the show, Capuna, whose abilities will greatly expand over the course of the adventure, adding all kinds of elemental effects, concealing tricks, mind manipulation, and a lot more, but I don't want to spoil them all here. You will definitely need to learn each character's strengths and try to avoid their weaknesses to really come out ahead during most all fights. By this point in the video, you should have somewhat of an idea if you enjoy my more straightforward approach to gaming coverage, and if you do, hit that subscribe button right now because it really helps me help you even better in the long run. Now, the battles in Iron Danger take the concept of save scumming in standard CRPG style games and turns it into the primary feature of the combat system by allowing you to do this manipulation in real time. At any moment in and out of battle, you can pause and rewind the flow of time to an extent, which is indicated by the heartbeat bar down at the bottom of the screen. Here you can queue up movement and skills for each of the two characters, and any small tweaks you make to the flow of time can completely change what happens next. For example, you might get hit by a big attack, most of which will outright kill you, but no problem, just shift back the flow of time to where you see that big red X on the timeline, throw in a block or dodge, and all of a sudden you have completely changed the outcome of the future. Some incoming damage can also be avoided by taking the more offensive approach, and interrupting attacks by placing your own right before they strike is a useful tactic as well. You cannot indefinitely rewind time in Iron Danger, and 14 heartbeats worth of turns down on the timeline is as far back as you can go, so plan carefully. You don't want to queue up too many moves for just one character all at once, because any slight shift that your other character makes to the flow of time by, say, changing an enemy's location, can completely throw off your well-planned attack because the butterfly effect is in full use here. The best way to go about things is to ping-pong back and forth between both characters, only lining up a skill or two at a time to make sure everything plays out just like you want it to. Different attacks and spells can take multiple heartbeats to conclude, so planning out your most powerful attacks needs to be carefully timed if you want to avoid taking damage. Death is actually a very powerful ally in Iron Danger, and you may just let time play out for a few turns as you watch your team get decimated, simply to use this as intel for setting up traps, moving to advantageous positions, or for collaborating a combo with your partner. A well-timed combination of synergized elements, like igniting oil for example, or using an environmental trap at just the right time, can be powerful tools if used correctly during these tough battles. Expect to rewind most combat encounters over and over and over as you slowly learn how to avoid all incoming damage and come out victorious against otherwise impossible odds. Although there are no standard RPG level ups or gear system in Iron Danger, you do have the ability to learn and upgrade one active skill in between missions, which does add some customization to your team's build. There are things to discover around each map if you wander off the beaten path that can really help out quite a lot in combat, like explosive barrels, don't ask me how those fit in your pockets, grenades, snares, and the occasional healing item. Some of these limited use tools, if used at opportune times, can really make or break an entire fight, so you do have a good incentive to explore. Now, all of the previously mentioned mechanics, when combined, make for a really interesting combat system that might just shift your expectations of what a strategy RPG can really be. Instead of just throwing your team's raw RPG stats straight against another team's numbers, every fight in Iron Danger feels like you earned it purely because of your own direct influence. That was a somewhat brief overview of the combat system and general gameplay in Iron Danger, but if you want my suggestions on some of the more nitty-gritty details, consider subscribing for my upcoming tips video that will highlight all the fun little tricks I figured out during my playthrough. Now, to wrap all this up, a big thanks to Daedalic Entertainment for sponsoring this video and helping to perpetuate the future of my channel. If this looks like the type of game you might enjoy, again, you can use that link in the video description to head over to the Iron Danger Steam page. As always, this has been Jonathan from Boomstick Gaming. As always, this has been Alex from Boomstick Gaming, and a special thanks to you for watching this all the way to the end.